Today I bring you back again to the Philippines, the country with 25 annual typhoons.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast to the protection against heavy rain and flooding by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
So the big challenge is, how can house owners like you and me get a flood-free home? How can business managers like you and me get a flood-free company? And how can public servants provide flood-free critical infrastructure and livable cities?
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe. This podcast is for foresighted and proactive people who do not want to shovel the muddy water out of their room while standing in the midst of the disaster.
Therefore, those who design and plan, the architects and engineers, need to construct such buildings and cities, and that even when the entire environment is completely flooded. That is a challenge, and this podcast will give the answers.
Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood, Andreas Klippe.
Hello and welcome to part 7 of this mini-series, Why Choose the German RS Demountable Flood Barrier. Yeah, welcome. I hope you have enjoyed the previous parts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, where I have explained some examples from different of our customers in Hamburg, for instance, at the Elbe River, at the North Sea in Germany, or from the Kenyatta Airport, the customs area, from a factory in Mumbai, from a governmental building in the Philippines, and applications and users in the Middle East. And today I want to bring you back again to the country of the 25 annual typhoons, the Philippines. That is where my company is located. And we design, manufacture demountable flood barrier systems and other types of flood barrier installations in the Philippines by using German designs and the German raw materials. And we serve customers from the Middle East to the Far East and South Korea, China, South Korea, etc. But that is not the topic today. Let me take you to the busy heart of Manila, Philippines. Tucked among the government offices, there's a ministry headquarters that handles critical national operations. It's a kind of place where a single day of downtime can delay permits, disrupt projects, and ripple across the entire country's infrastructure plans. And the building had seen its share of typhoons. Each time the rain fell hard enough, the underground parking and lower offices were at risk. It wasn't just about water damage, it was about safety, security, and public trust. After one particularly nasty storm that left the basement ankle deep in floodwater, the ministry decided the next time they'd be ready. And when they contacted Flood Control Asia, they had one requirement above all else. We need flood protection that meets international safety standards and passes every audit, local or foreign. So we proposed the RS Demountable Flood Barrier, of course, backed by certified safety and global recognition. I mentioned something about it already in the previous episodes. And here are the 3 points. Independently tested and certified by leading authorities worldwide. That was one requirement. Another requirement was recognized by global insurers and engineering bodies. And the third requirement was trusted in airports, embassies, and high security government facilities in multiple countries. For the ministry, this wasn't just about stopping water. It was about meeting documentation and compliance demands. So every panel, every sealing system, every bolt came with proof of performance. That meant when inspectors came, whether from a local agency or an international partner, the answers were ready in black and white. So we installed barriers at all risk points, vehicle ramps, service doors, and even ventilation shafts low to the ground. We trained their staff for fast, confident deployment and integrated the flood plan into the ministry's overall emergency protocols. When the next typhoon rolled in, the streets outside were rivers again. I mentioned the Philippines are the country of 25 annual typhoons. But inside the ministry, operations ran like clockwork. The post-event report even noted zero water ingress, system functioned exactly as certified. Isn't that great? Here comes the golden nugget. Perhaps you waited already for it. And in critical facilities, it's not enough for protection to work. It has to be proven. Certified safety and global recognition mean you can show, not just tell, that your system will perform. For this ministry in Manila, that proof turned potential disaster into a case study in preparedness. I always mention flood protection that serves only as a decoration is a very expensive waste of money. And it's good looking, but at the end it's not working. So I also described in previous episodes of this mini-series that fast handling is necessary, that good storage is necessary, that the anchoring system is necessary because it makes a difference. We were talking about the trench in the ground. You remember, just to hold the barriers. My goodness, where shall the stability come from? There's a wave kinetic energy coming, a wave perhaps created by a passing by vehicle. That will make these so-called flood barriers, I don't call them flood barriers, I call them decoration, just collapse. And sometimes they're even made out of plastic. My goodness, we use high-grade marine aluminum or steel parts of barriers. So the posts and side channels, of course, they're all made by hot dip galvanized steel or aluminum on special request there. Okay. That's it. That was just a short summary. If you work in a facility where compliance, audits, and international standards matter, connect with me. I'm Andreas Klippe. I share tested solutions, compliance-ready strategies, and real stories from projects worldwide. Add podcast in your message so I know you're one of our listeners. And that's it already for today's episode of Flood Protection Secrets, this mini-series, Why Choose the German RS Demountable Flood Barriers, Part 7. So there will be a Part 8. Yes. And don't miss it, because it's really exciting, because we summarize all the outcomes from the previous parts. However, I strongly recommend to listen to them again if you would like to. So that's it for today. Remember, the first flood is always too late. Protect now, and your next storm will be nothing more than background noise. Stay safe and flood free. I wish and hope for you that you make the right decisions when it comes to your personal flood protection. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this podcast channel if you haven't already. Now it only remains for me to wish you a good day. Do something with it. Maybe until the next podcast episode. I would be very happy. See you then. As always, stay safe and flood free. Your Andreas Klippe and the whole Flood Experts team.
That's it again with a new episode of Flood Protection Secrets, the podcast by Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe, German engineer, book author, and head of the Flood Experts. What can Dr. Flood Andreas Klippe protect for you? Anytime? Worldwide? Contact us or just click through to www.floodexperts.de/bonus. Detailed engineering, German quality, safe. Flood protection secrets. The secrets you'll want to unfold.
Don't forget, you're only one flood barrier away.
Subscribe to the season, and you'll never be late for an episode.